Hello everyone. Phoenix61 here with your Legend shenanigans for the day. And shenanigans is what we have. We're working through Tier 3 premium supplies for the week. And we definitely have, apologies for the clickbait thumbnail, but this ship, it definitely feels quite strong for the tier. Now, granted, it is Tier 3. So that comes with a grain of salt, but there are a couple of ships down at some of the lower tiers where I've definitely felt like they could use some tweaking, but nobody really cares too much because, well, it's down at the lower tiers, right? So we've got the damn near entire red team bunched up over by the Delta Cap here, and so we are taking full advantage of that, and I think we caught them by a little bit by surprise here as they come through. Destroyer, or somebody managed to get torpedoes off on us here. We're going to see we were able to dodge most of those. But yes, these broadside cruisers are just an absolute dream for the ship. And then I've actually built into the secondary battery range, which is actually quite hefty here as well. But an obnoxious 7 turrets on this thing. I don't know if any ships in the game have more than 7 main battery turrets in them. But it is a little bit intense here. But it does make for excellent salvos at broadside cruisers, which we'll demonstrate. I've got 2 games here. And then, of course, you can see the secondary range and amount of guns is pretty good as well. So we managed to have a lot of fun. And I am running with scissors for the legendary perk, which is rare for me, but just felt like more fun to do that, especially given the nature, the tier 3 ships, right? Like it felt right. Like I tend to lean towards like will to rebuild or even fight fire with fire. I think I've got more often on ships than not. But here I was like, you know what, we're doing running with scissors, and it works. It's pretty good. So we are backing up, trying to take advantage of the cruisers that are just kind of sailing around the outside of the map. So it makes it perfect for us because we get nice broadside shots here. We'll hit forward here because I'm pretty sure he's got torpedoes he's potentially sending this way, so we'll want to try and move out of the way of those. But of course, without will to rebuild, right, we're getting a little bit nervous because we're low on health. But as you can see, for a tier 3 battleship, having 74 secondary battery hits is actually pretty epic. And then sure enough, here come the torpedoes.
We sank an enemy cruiser.
Not quite able to get around that last one, so we will damage con the flood there. And then, yeah, these couple of battleships that are out here are still quite healthy, so we are relying on some teammates to do some of the work here, but we are up to 2 kills. And I'm just going to sort of hang out and try and wait for some attention to come away from us, right, before we try and engage again here. Wait for some of my consumables to come back. See how much we can... one more heal, 16 more seconds for the secondary battery booster. See if we can potentially engage. Maybe the cruiser that's out there off in the distance a little bit. They did manage to take out our aircraft carrier, so we've got, that's not going well for us there. But somebody on our team took theirs out as well, so it's all is fair, I suppose. Von der Tan, also you can do secondary battery build with that ship too, but we'll trip our secondary booster here as he comes around broadside. We weren't at the best of angles as he fired at us either. But at least we've got a one-on-one situation here for the time being. You're actually doing damage with these and triggering fire, so this is awesome. This is what you want. He hits us again pretty hard there. See if we can get one more salvo off. We almost have our heal ready. And we do manage to get him just enough for the secondaries to finish him off, so we get another close quarters medal. That's our 3rd one for the game. And then, yeah, Bellerophon, right, however you say that ship, comes around the corner, and he has plenty of health for us, so my plan was to try and ram him here. So we'll see if we can get him. Potentially could ram him and shoot the destroyer if that was an option, right? If we could get guns on the destroyer. And we do manage to turn, yeah, so I had the left rudder there as hard as we could, and it happened a little sooner than I was hoping there, but that would have been pretty fun to get that last kill with the If we would have been able to sneak the kill on the destroyer too, that would have been a Kraken right at the end. Kraken and double kill, right? But we'll let our teammates finish up here. We'll fast forward, and then I have an even better game. This one was kind of mediocre in comparison, but we'll take a peek at the leaderboard, and then I'll go through the stats and commander build and all that other fun stuff at the end of this next video. But we have 1700 XP, puts us with those 4 kills, puts us at the top of the board. 150,000 in credits. That's pretty great for tier 3. And so off to game number 2 here. Right, and so, similar kind of scenario, right? I kind of was leaning towards heading towards island cover when playing with this ship, right? Just because we could kind of close the gap and get secondaries engaged. But we do get spotted almost right off the bat here, so we know there's probably a destroyer on the enemy team heading towards the Delta Cap here, right, heading towards D. And we get a cruiser that is pretty well angled for us here, so we'll take our time and pull the trigger on that shot with AP shells. Again, 7 turrets of 2, that's a lot of bullets. That is some pretty epic shell grouping there for a tier 3 battleship. But we managed to land plenty of shots to get the devastating strike, and that person, my apologies, probably never played the game again after that game. But we'll keep moving around and stick to the plan. We are only spotted by the aircraft for the time being. You know, donated by the little orange airplane symbol there, right? So we know that the destroyer destroyer doesn't have line of sight on us. So it may have been that cruiser that was what was spotting us early on in the game there. So I'm not sure. But either way, somebody is capturing D for the Reds. We've got another chance here at a broadside cruiser. We will take that shot as well. I think I didn't quite lead him enough, right? So we didn't quite get what we wanted out of it, but did tickle him a little bit there. And he realized his mistake a little bit. I think he starts turning in towards all these other cruisers that are out here in front of me on my team. And then now here comes cruiser number 3 into the Delta Cap 4, right? So the Java was starting to turn away, but this De Ruyter is not, and he's slowing down, so we'll take that shot at him. He is also at full health and 0 health there for another three Citadel hits on him. 4 kill number 2 for the game. I don't know what the rest of my team is doing, but we're taking care of business here. Push it up. But yeah, we'll continue to move up and push into the enemy team, right? This is going to be one of those games where once you start getting the momentum going, things tend to go in your favor, right? Game momentum is a big player in this game. Java is low on health, taking hits from our allies. We do lose a destroyer and a cruiser, so the blue team in classic fashion manages to take away our 2-ship lead quite quickly there. And our bullets didn't make it to the Java quick enough for us to get the credit for that kill there. So we're still at 2 kills, but 46,000 damage at tier 3 is pretty hefty for this early in the game. So we'll continue to push up towards the middle here. We do have to be nervous about destroyers, right? We've got 2 of them that are potentially close by to us. Notice just looking at where they were last spotted on the mini-map. And then we do get surface spotted here, donated by little eyeball, and it goes back to a plane, right? So I'm not sure where these guys are. I'm not too concerned about it just yet. We'll continue to push through the middle of the map, which, right, at higher tiers is not really usually a good idea, but I kind of try to have fun at the lower tiers when I play this, so I tend to be a little bit more aggressive just because it's more entertaining. So Kohlberg, right, if he keeps coming this direction, we'll have a nice broadside shot on him, but it does look like he either ran aground or was starting to slow down there. But we'll continue to move around and keep our guns on that starboard side of the ship there, just in case he does pop his head out. There's the smoke screen as well. And then we get spotted here. This battleship, right, he's looking the other direction, so I don't have to worry about him. And so I'm guessing I'm getting spotted by a destroyer over in A, as that zone's getting capped. So we'll do a little bit of maneuvering here, right? We change directions here just in case somebody can send torpedoes towards us. The game's not won just yet, right? We're actually even on ships. We just got a little bit of a high from our 2 early kills. And this destroyer is low, so we are absolutely going to take that shot at that destroyer. Lots of guns means lots of chances to get those hits. And we only get 1 there, and somebody else finishes him off. That's fine. Dead destroyer is great no matter who does it. And then here comes the Kohlberg, right? So we're going to focus on him. We'll trip the secondary battery booster, but I'm going to guess that once we get main guns loaded here, he's not going to have a chance. I think he does have torpedoes, so we're going to keep turning away from him here. We're going to keep maneuvering. And loaded just in time here. That ends him. That is kill number 3 then. And then we'll start turning in towards the Alpha cap here to try and support it. A very healthy Wyoming off there out in the distance. I'm not sure what he's been doing this entire game, but we're now up at least 1 ship now with 3 kills. And we are located as well, which means we are probably the closest blue team member to whatever destroyer this is that's in the Alpha cap. So we have that to look forward to. Airplanes are detecting us, right? So that just means that the enemy can see where we are on the minimap, but can't lock onto us. And then we are still located, which means the destroyer knows kind of about where we are, basically. Right? They get a little indicator showing the direction that we are in comparison to them. So I'm going to hug the island here, because I'm guessing that the destroyer is kind of off in the direction that I'm looking here. And so this way, if we do see torpedoes coming around the corner, right, we could potentially turn in towards them to try and dodge them. Right, still only up 1 ship, though. So it did end up being quite a competitive game here. And so we'll take our main battery shots at the Wyoming. We, of course, don't want to give up too much angle, so we're not going to be able to get some of those rear turrets off. And then here comes the destroyer, as expected. He's about where we expected. So we'll prioritize the secondary batteries on him to try and get rid of him while he's spotted here. And we'll actually use main batteries on him too. We want to get rid of him as quick as possible. And then we did turn in and slow down, right, just in case he sent torpedoes out in front of us. So the trick to dodging torpedoes is always to start dodging them before you see them. Main battery shot at him. We managed to get 1 over pen. Hopefully secondaries can finish him quickly here. Just need a hit. If not, I'm using main battery. We want to get rid of him before he goes undetected, right? 1 turret. And done. Alright, now we can focus on Wyoming. So that was kill number 4. So if we can get Wyoming, that'll be our Kraken. And then the only thing that'll be left will be the aircraft carrier. He's getting low on health. Our aircraft carrier has been picking on him. So we're doing pretty good there. Here come torpedoes from the destroyer. A little later than I expected, but that's fine. We've got damage con for the flood. We'll aim at superstructure since he's turning in towards us, and we'll trigger the secondary battery booster here. It's going to be tough for him to get turrets on target here since we're so close, right? Turrets move kind of slow with these battleships. So we'll actually not zoom in and pull the trigger as these turrets get lined up in the rear, and that'll finish him off for our Kraken. Their aircraft carrier, right? He is right at his spawn point, right? You guys can autopilot your aircraft carrier. It looks like he just now started moving, but he's so low on health, right? If you didn't know that, you can go into the map view when you're playing as a carrier and hold X on any square on the map, and that'll make your aircraft carrier automatically pilot to whatever square you selected, right? So, yeah, people that just leave their carriers there to die, right? You're doing it wrong. But that gives us the win there, 84,000 damage for that one, right? A little bit less damage, but we did a little bit better XP-wise, I think, right? It was funner because we had the Kraken, right? 150,000 in silver or credit earnings again at the end of that one. Now we'll take a look at the build here, right? Since it's low tiers, you only get 1 mod slot. So we are using secondary battery mod for the increased range there on the secondaries. I really like to take a peek at the yeah. So for specs, 2.9 kilometer range on the second, or 7.9 kilometer range. Sorry, on the secondaries, which is pretty epic for a tier 3 ship. And then I'm using Charles Madden, right? So he is actually a free to play commander. Anybody can do this build with Agincourt. And then, yep, I've got presets on this commander, right? So we're using this second preset with the inspirations for, Franz von Hipper for the secondary battery range. And then Haruna, if you don't have Haruna, right, use whoever you've got. You could even build into AP shells or something, right? You could do you there, you do what you got. And then yeah, Porcupine for slot 2. I am using Firefighter here, and then Properly Meticulous is kind of my go-to for secondary builds. I know some people like the Master Mechanic for the extra heals. And then we are using Running with Scissors, right? It's just give you more AP shell damage while you're close to enemies, right? So yeah, we'll take that. We'll take that action, right? But that's Agincourt. Make sure you guys are following the channel. I really do appreciate new subscribers. I do. I notice you, right? I see you. I'm kind of a small channel, so yeah, it is helpful. It is nice to see you guys out here. But I'm rocking a 100% win rate with the ship. Of course, we just got it, right? We're at 3 battles, so yeah, that will ruin that pretty quickly. No worries there, but. But we did just get it from one of the recent events or crates or something. I'm not exactly sure how this one popped up for me, but figured we would test it out since it was a new ship for us, and it's been working out for my tier 3 premiums each week. So yeah, do please subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate that. I notice you guys when new followers show up because, well, I'm still kind of a small channel. Then special thanks to any channel members out there and those of you that kind of hang out with me and participate in live streams and chat with me and stuff. You guys make it fun. So yeah, I do appreciate that as well. I try to do Legends videos every day, so if you are following, we'll see you guys tomorrow.